Hello y'all, this is Red Flood, a mod for Hearthstone 4 where peace was never given a chance after the end of World War I. We played as a big brother German Socialist Republic last time, but this time we'll be playing as their ally, the Brazilian Popular Republic. The morning after is our first focus, and we must take that focus to get down to the first council after we take 3 others and select our leader of our country. We start with 4 national spirits we will need to get rid of over time. That is oligarchic madness, local army structures, revolutionary scars, and famines. We also have a decent sized military that will be a lot bigger because we have tons of manpower, and we have just infantry and cavalry. We also start with a pretty small sizable navy. We start with 6 generals and 2 field marshals to act as commanders. We even have the leader of our country as a marshal. For our infantry, we're going to start producing more modern guns in the form of the Carabina M35. This message tells us the Brazilian Popular Republic is a relatively new country and was created by the Pajama Revolution, called so because of soldiers killing their own sleeping roommates, and was led by the brutal Filinto Moller alongside others who kicked out the president, whom founded a government in exile in the USA. In the wake of the revolution, we must begin setting up for the council. Our neighbors, Paraguay and Bolivia, are at war, and if one of them win, they will have a lot bigger borders, and we may have to think about invading one of them. We're going to get some security for our meeting. We're going with the Vanguard Socialist option, the Red Guard. Checking with the delegates, the Communist will dominate the talks. Finally, for the venue, we're going to go with the government building because legitimacy is important. João Amazonas, historically the leader of the Communist Party of Brazil, will lead the country for the Vanguard Socialists. There will be no more councils because we're going to be a jerk and abolish all the other parties. Brazil will adhere to hardline Marxist concepts, giving us a new national spirit and changing the revolutionary scars to permanent scars, giving back some stability, and daily minus negative support is gone. Amazonas fires the old chairman of the party and replaces them with himself. Brazil has 2 options from military doctrines, and because our ruling party is Vanguard Socialist, we only get access to one, and that is the Lopez doctrine that focuses on mass assault. We don't start with support weapons research, so we're doing that now and getting our hands on the Hotchkiss M1914 MG and the Stokes mortar. Bolivia beat Paraguay and annexed all their land. We're going to justify a war goal on them so we can have a larger border with Argentina. The famine's national spirit is gone after completing the campaign against landowners focus, so we have a higher monthly population now. The destroy reactionaries focus will get rid of oligarchic madness by destroying the oligarchs. A victim of circumstance snaps and is declared an enemy of the state and is quickly dealt with. For other events going around the world, there is a 3-way Spanish Civil War. The Kingdom of Syria is fighting Israel, and over in the Far East, Japan has beaten revolutionary Japan. A former cattle oligarch who was a big critic of the left before the revolution is now one of its biggest fans in order to keep his political career alive. The Vanguard Socialist government is now complete, so we now have buffs to encryption and decryption and industry. The war against Bolivia begins soon. How nice, the German Socialist Republic wants to lend-lease us some supplies. We beat Bolivia, take some of their equipment, and will annex all of their territory. For our foreign policy, because we are the Vanguard Socialist, we will begin pursuing a South American maximalist. Over in Africa, the Prussian Congo fights the Congolese Republic. A coup will be launched in Uruguay so we can overthrow the leader Gabriel Terra and take the land for ourselves. The coup is set in motion and we will annex our southern neighbor. We get all their military, and that comes with all their equipment, and we will update them to our templates. Once this focus is completed, we will go to war with Argentina, and they will have a national spirit called Brazilian embargo, which makes them weaker. They held until we started using tank divisions to attack their lines. In pursuit of the South American maximalists, we will begin the Great Andean Wars focus, and we will get war claims on every other South American nation that isn't a European power. Ukraine has joined accelerationist France's faction, and they are also attacking Italy alongside Fiume. In the north, our first war will be against Venezuela. Colombia is next on the conquest roadmap, but they are guaranteed by the Netherlands. We will have to call in Germany to deal with them. Colombia is beaten, so we move some divisions across the sea to the Dutch-German border, so when we call the Germans in, they don't scoop up the war score and take everything. In the peace deal, we take a lot of land, but we also establish Netherlands as a puppet of Brazil. Moving down from the north, we're going to go after Ecuador, accelerationist Peru, and then Chile to conquer what's left of South America. The military staff is ready. We have a chief of the army, chief of the navy, and Chief of the Air Force, and the Chief of the Air Force and Chief of the Army are there only because we are vanguard socialists. Well, that can't be good. The totalitarian South American maximalist is ready, and we will begin spreading the language of the proletariat, Brazilian Portuguese, because the other option is bourgeoisies only, apparently. Poland joins the Third International and begins fighting the Ukrainian pro-mystic Union. While they're a member of the faction, Hungary can't even do anything with their 60-plus divisions because they're landlocked. The South American maximalist is created, and we have become it and get a new flag. We have 3 new decisions to continue the South American maximalist fight against the Spanish language, which is very unfortunate. Hungary now has something to do besides staring at hills, because Austria has joined the war on the opposing side. Deciding not to be neutral in this timeline, Switzerland joins the League Solar to help Austria and France and Italy. The maximalist cavalry divisions and armored divisions are punching through northern France and moving toward Brittany. France is losing ground very quickly, maybe because their divisions are spread out helping on the Swiss and Austrian fronts. The imperial rump state of Prussia makes a big mistake and joins the losing side. Poland could have made a bad decision because they are fighting the accelerationist Russian Union Empire. The Italian combine lines are broken with the exception of some units defending the northeast and French soldiers stuck at a port. Rome will fall soon, and the rest of Italy. The Czechoslovak Kingdom joins League Solar and may hit Poland from behind, who has not left any units on their border really. Italy is banished to some islands, and whatever France is calling itself now is stuck in Africa, and we must focus on Russia. It is a race between the east and west because the one state is pushing from Siberia. We are justifying on Morocco having made all these marine divisions so we can land there and hit France from another direction. The Russians have continually lost their capital, and it is being put further and further north. Poland gets very big after Russia is beaten, and the Southeastern Union fights on, but not for much longer. The German Socialist Republic and the United Kingdom are now enemies, and the United Kingdom will call in the entire Commonwealth of Nations. The Morocco plan was a failure, so now we're landing paratroops in Sardinia. After what feels like a century, the League Solar is defeated and brought to heel at the Treaty of Algiers. The Empire of Japan joins the Third International. Perhaps they could help out in the fighting in India. This is why air-to-air combat in England is a nightmare. Somehow the paratroopers sneak past all the planes and have landed at the port of Newcastle. The United Kingdom is falling, but you can't say the Commonwealth of Nations didn't try to defend it. We have triumphed, and the world has very much changed. The South American maximalist is in Canada, and there's a lot of land changes. The German Socialist Republic definitely took a lot. The Third International is now all over the place, but oddly there isn't any members around China, and that will be what the world will be like now. I'm going to end the video here. If you enjoyed the mod, make sure to check it out. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to like and subscribe and turn on notifications.